Hey there, it is Omega Level Nerds time, and we continue to be at the buffet of Star Wars, and it even looks like the normies are back on board with Mando after this last episode. A great episode indeed, and I think Ray and I gave you a pretty good sneak peek into what happened or what may happen, and we're going to get into that. Of course,
Weeks
Ray
ago,
joins
Don.
me. Yes.
Weeks ago, Don.
Yes.
We are the foretellers of the Star Wars future.
Yeah, it amazes me, kind of how on we are about this. So let's get right into it. I mean, this episode starts off in a cool way because you see the Mandos, they got their fleet, they got the fucking Mythosaur painted on the bottom of the Imperial light cruiser, march to Mandalore, we're going to go kick some ass as Mandalorians. The only thing that could beat us is ourselves. I was like, okay, I'm digging that. I like this. Mandalorians strutting their stuff.
Yep. Camaraderie, unity. It was a beautiful thing. Brotherhood, all them beautiful little words that symbolize the Mandalorian as a whole. They got all the warring factions together, and yeah, I mean, it was a beautiful thing to see them all together.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that walked away and the ones that don't, and then we'll probably get into it, but you get a little further and you have the ones that stayed on Mandalore and they're joining the fray. It's just a beautiful time for unification.
So yeah, I mean, they march up on Mandalore. Now, remember me and you had talked about, retaking Mandalore. Well, who's there? Retaking it from whom? Very interesting question indeed, because as we go throughout this episode, indeed, Bo-Katan and all the people that volunteered to go down to Mandalore and find the Forge and establish a perimeter, and once they establish a safe perimeter around the Forge, that's when everybody else can come down.
Yeah, they had to light the fires of Mandalore once again for it to be, Mandalore again. So that was their mission, that was their goal, to go down and relight the Forge.
So on their way, I mean, they don't know exactly where they're going, but they're on foot. And yeah, they come up with these other Mandalorians. It kind of got like a pirate ship, big pirate theme this season. So there's actually Mandalorians that stayed on the planet. And they explain that basically any ship that was taking off, the Empire was destroying. So, at that point, it's like, okay, let's just hide on planet here. They're able to help Bo-Katan and all the other Mandalorians find the Forge. Not, of course, until after they get attacked by this huge creature, which I actually didn't know. I thought it was maybe like that Force Dragon. For those who are familiar with Star Wars Rebels and Bad Batch, there's this like lightning-breathing dragon that basically the Empire was fucking with and had. And I thought it may have been that, but it looks like it's just some sort of random big beast.
Looked like an octopus almost, with the tentacles almost.
Yeah.
You really didn't get a good look at it.
Yeah,
not even in 1080p, Don. You really couldn't tell what the hell it was.
Yep. It was, a little dark, little Zack Snyder dark.
Mm-hmm.
But nonetheless, they start to go underground at that point, which I don't know. I'm like, what's going to stop the? But anyway, it works. They go underground. They're fine. Big monster doesn't pursue them. Whatever. The ship's gone though. That wooden whatever it was, that little pirate.
Yeah, they abandoned ship, and I thought that was really cool that they all blasted off, and a really quick scene of them grabbing Grogu.
Yes.
Two of them grabbed Grogu and blasted off, which thought that was cool. It's like he's one of ours, so we got to get him out of here.
What did you think of Grogu's like little mech suit that Grief Karga?
I absolutely love it. As a big fan of like mech anime, I'm like, this is great. This is perfectly great. I'm fine with this. I want to see it do a little bit. I know he's still getting used to the controls and things like that, but I would like to see him do some movement. If that thing picks up a lightsaber, God help us.
Hell yeah, full on fucking, Gundam lightsaber shit.
Yeah, fucking IG-88 with a lightsaber. But it's IG 12 now. Sorry, it's not even
Right,
IG 11. It's
right.
IG
Made
12.
from IG-11, now IG-12, which basically doesn't have his own brain now. You've got to be inside and control it.
Yep, they stripped him down to basic motor functions, so it's essentially a mech for Grogu. And it was
Uh,
cool that we got to see the Frick driving it too.
Yep, the Babu, the whatever their name is, the Velians or whatever. Has, and that's funny too because he's like the test pilot and he gets out of it so Grogu can get in it, and he walks by Grogu and he's just like, no squeezy, bad baby. He's just backing away from him. But the mech also gives him a little bit of an ability to speak, so we learn something here very significant as to far as what Grogu actually understands. And so it seems as though Grogu understands everything. He just has a very limited ability to communicate. So with his droid now, he at least has like yes/no functionality.
Yeah.
Which is funny. The first time he was like yes, no, no.
Yeah. In any language that you learn, the first words that you normally learn are yes and no because it's a universal communication. I think it's a perfect form for him to, help just express himself. Before he's just googly eyed and open to interpretation. But now he has a voice, kind of, and
sure.
Something is better than nothing.
And then even more than that, and this kind of lends credence to my Grogu being Mandalore at some point, is, while they're on this pirate ship, these factions that just came together, they're playing like this Star Wars chess, and it's one of the Children of the Watch versus one of the Night Owls or whatever, the Bo-Katan's group. And, their rules are different, and they start fighting over it, And they're in a full-blown, they've got their vibro blades out, so just in case those of you that don't know, but I do, that knife that was like, looked all weird and shit, almost like from that movie Dune. That's a vibro blade, and that's what makes it a vibro blade, is it vibrates at a frequency, and actually they can deflect lightsabers, believe it or not. But nonetheless, so they're full fighting with their vibro blades.
Like it seems like a lot of things in the galaxy can fight a lightsaber.
Oh, sure. I mean, there's all sorts of metals. Corrodus weave is a big one. Not only is it, Beskar, you can't, it stops the lightsaber. Corrodus weave will fucking disengage it, like for a time. So, yeah, no, there is. We don't see it a whole lot. I mean, because we're not talking about like cheap materials here. But yeah, there is shit that can deal with it. But significant here with this mech. Now we know what he understands. He's kind of got an ability to communicate better. He stops this fight. No. And with his mech, he like stops the fight. So it's like, Grogu taking on a little bit of a leadership position.
We did skip over a little bit of the opening, Don, where what's her name? Elia, whatever the hell her name is.
Yes, Elia Kane.
How she kind of ratted out the Mandalorians to not Grand Moff Tarkin. Why would I say Grand Moff Tarkin?
Moff Gideon, yeah.
Yeah, Moff Gideon, and then he focuses on the Mandalorians. We totally skipped over that. So she's back, and then you go into that
the Shadow
room.
Council, right?
Yeah,
right, you're right.
Which
Thanks
was really cool
to
see. It was really cool to see that these are essentially the warlords left over from the Empire.
Mm-hmm.
So they each have their own little quadrant that they take care of and plan and scheme to get the Empire back, and then they bring up Grand Admiral Thrawn openly numerous times. They don't show the man, and that's fine. Save it for Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Which we did see him in the extended trailer for Ahsoka, but those were the only people that saw that were at Celebration. So we didn't get to actually see that. But check TikTok, check YouTube. You can go see it.
Right,
it's everywhere. It's 2023. We have our sources. And then they mention him and how he's like the centerpiece of this plan, this grand plan, but he's nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
So
Moff Gideon doesn't seem like he's a fan of the this
No, because
plan.
Moth Gideon wants to be head honcho. He wants to be king. You know what I mean? Like the
Yeah.
next coming of the emperor type deal. That's his whole thing.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad you brought me back to this because, yeah, confirmed. Lars Michelson, who voices him, so he's going to be our Grand Admiral Thrawn once we do get him. Whether or not we get him teased in this season or they do indeed save him for Ahsoka, but yeah, that's going to be huge. Um, but yeah,
Definitely
that was
huge.
a great scene.
Definitely, it's definitely huge for people that have read the Thrawn trilogy
Yeah,
and are deep into Star Wars lore. A lot of people will look at it and go, "Why is everybody getting so hyped about this?" Well, because
yeah,
we've been wanting it for so long,
yeah,
you know, and now we're finally going to get it, like confirmed. It's on screen. He's in a trailer. He's at Celebration Day. Like it's going to happen.
yeah,
Now, and Celebration was, last week and then a little bit into this week.
yeah,
But so we're getting all that, and that's really. Oh, I'm sorry, I was trying to rework my brain here. So they're bringing up Thrawn now. Funny, huh?
mm-hmm.
They
Yeah,
they bring him out at Celebration, and then this week they're talking about him.
yeah.
So
They're
and
building
kudos to
up.
definitely, and kudos to Disney for keeping the water cooler talk going.
Yeah,
Right? That could have been a one-off, like, oh shit, Thrawn's gonna be in Star Wars. That's cool, and then not think about it until Ahsoka comes out. But they're
mm-hmm.
bringing it into the Mandalorian, which is still white hot, at
Yeah,
the moment. It's smart, and to interweave the Filoni verse, as I like to call it, it's
yeah,
just it's all part of a big vision, and kudos to them for just getting it done. Giving
yeah.
us. We've had the short stick of Star Wars for a long time, as you know. It
Mm-hmm.
hasn't all been gravy and turkey.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it's been bean and spam. But to get a little a big dinner plate full of goodness is just a nice little change.
Who don't like spam? Anyway. Yeah, for sure. I love the storytelling. I love, how they're not trashing the sequel trilogy. In fact, we see General Hux's father is part of this shadow council here of the Empire, which was very, very cool. Again, seeing the foundations, of the First Order. And you talk about, Disney doing a great job. Kudos to them because they obviously have had a very, very long game plan going, which includes the sequel trilogy, and they're going for it. They're keep telling that story, and we're going to get the gap bridged between where we are now and where we'll end up in the sequel trilogy, and then beyond that with Rey's new Jedi Order. So no, I'm right there with you as far as how well Disney has treated this and how great of a job they're doing. I
I
mean,
think that they realized, Don, when they fucked up with the newer trilogy, they're like, we got to fix this, guys. We
mm,
really gotta get these experts in here and fix this whole thing, or else our billions and billions of dollar investment, no one's gonna want it anymore.
yeah,
So they're coming in here and they're giving everybody kind of what they want. Smart play, if you want to
yeah,
make money.
yeah. Well, that's what they're in it for sure.
But Don, they also did in the secret meeting. He's talking to Hux and he's saying, you're still kind of obsessing over this whole cloning thing.
Yeah.
So we're getting another tidbit of Snoke.
Project Necromancer.
Yeah, kind of weird, right? So
So
we're getting that Snoke, little droplets in there.
love it. So yeah, thank you for taking me back there because you're right. That beginning scene, as we just displayed, had a whole lot of important and cool shit to
Yeah,
digest.
guys, this was a long episode. Okay, this is a 53-minute episode. This is the longest episode of the season, but it doesn't feel like 53 minutes. It really
No, and
flies
quick.
by. But there is a lot of disposition here. You really got to pay attention to the details.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I took you back, Don. I'm going to take you forward now, back to the ship.
Okay.
And when the armor is on the ship,
Mm-hmm.
and the one asked her, "Are you Death Watch?" And I said, "Ha!"
Yes.
I said, "Ha! I am a genius." Yes, I knew it.
Yep.
And
We've been
and
telling you.
but she didn't say yes or no. But you come on, you could tell.
Yeah, that organization, that no longer exists.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Let's see about that, because yes, you mentioned the armorer, and it was even Bo-Katan, which I told you, Bo-Katan could potentially have beef with her because, Dark Watch, uh, led by Maul, killed her sister, Duchess Satine,
yep.
who ruled Mandalore at the time. So it was interesting that, yeah, Bo-Katan was the one that jumps up and, Death Watch, And, yeah, the armor, kind of, no, that's not, brushes her off a little bit, in my opinion.
And she
But,
also and Bo-Katan also reveals the deal that she made
yes,
with them to leave Mandalore alone, but they had to vacate. We'll leave you alive. We'll let you live, but you kind of got to give up your planet. So she did
and the
what she could for her
Darksaber.
people. Yeah, and the Darksaber,
Gave up the Darksaber to Moff Gideon in exchange for, people's lives on Mandalore. And yeah, he did not
Mhm.
make good on that promise. So gives you a lot of insight as to, like, what depths Gideon, will go in order to get shit done. Um, so let's talk about Gideon, because this is cool. So these pirates that have stayed on Mandalore, survived on Mandalore, show them to the Forge. They make it to the Forge, but when they're there, they encounter. Well, basically, long story short, there's an Imperial base down there.
Yep.
Moff Gideon's Imperial base.
And that's where he's been hiding.
Yes.
Yep.
So me and you were saying, take back Mandalore from whom? From what? Nobody's there. Nope, Moff Gideon's there. And during that meeting that we talked about with the Shadow Council, he asked for, I need TIE interceptors, I need TIE bombers, I need 3 Praetorian guards. So he's ready. But we also see, and this is where I want to get your opinion and thoughts on, the Mandalorians are ambushed by these Imperial soldiers with Beskar armor and jetpacks and basically fight just like the Mandalorians. They're
Yep.
just like the Empire's version or Moff Gideon's version, maybe former Death Watch. I don't know. Hopefully we'll see. But yeah, Moff Gideon's got and he's like a Mandalorian because he came down, he had his helmet, which was black with spikes, even had a little red on it.
Yep.
Another Darth Maul. So, yeah.
It is possible that he was high ranking in the Death Watch. It's possible. And for him to put his base on Mandalore, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not like he built a base for this ambush. This base is always, it's been
Yeah.
here for a while. And then that's where he's been hiding. That's where his base always was because he's Mandalorian. Now, how did he know where they were going to go? Man, then think of a whole planet. If you were to drop somebody from space, right, and
Mm-hmm.
say, where are they in the world? Right? The world's always rotating. Where are they in the world? He's going to know right where they are. Moff Gideon knew what they had to do and knew right where they were, and he had that ready to go. He put his base almost next to the forge
Right.
because
Right.
that's like essentially the light of Mandalore, right? That's their guiding light or whatever you want to call it. So he knew. So he is full Mandalorian.
Yeah, I believe that, and I believe, so the name of this episode, I haven't mentioned it yet, is The Spies. Now, we mentioned Elia Kane, obviously Imperial spy, but plural, spies. So, heavy speculation online, and I shared this, although it seems too telegraphed, so we will see. But speculation is the armorer, again, sporting the same Death Watch spiky helmet as now revealed Moff Gideon uses, is a spy for Moff Gideon. And
it's a possibility for the simple fact that she could keep an eye on the other Mandalorians.
And before they get ambushed, she leaves, right? Oh, these pirate guys, they're sick. I need to take them back to the ship. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, she got out
the
of there.
armorer wants to leave the Great Forge of Mandalore?
Yeah, unlikely. That'd be a job for little Billy. Any of them could have flown the ship. Let's be real here.
Mm-hmm. So
no doubt about
sketch.
It. Very, very. But it all ties together too. If you think about it, remember when Moff Gideon got rescued in the previous episode, and they're like, this is a Beskar.
Mm-hmm.
Well, of course it's Beskar because all your Death Troopers are now decked out in it. Their weaponry, everything. So of course it's going to look Mandalorian because it is.
Yep. And he wants to make Mark III Dark Troopers a full Beskar, which he revealed. Which probably would be horrible. But yeah, I mean, I think about it now. When the show season 1, the Armorer and her coven exist on Navarro right alongside the Imperials.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I mean they were underground, but at the same time, you're not gonna be a spy in broad daylight.
So with all that, long story short, Moff Gideon, kicks the Mandalorian's ass.
Did they though?
Well, I mean, so
did they though, Don? They kicked Din Djarin's ass. They kicked Din Djarin's ass. They blocked him off from the rest of the Mandalorians.
Right, because they got separated. Right, they got Din Djarin separated from Grogu even.
Yeah.
So Bo-Katan, Grogu, a bunch of those Mandalorians do escape. But yeah, they get Din Djarin. Like, he doesn't go down like a bitch. Like, he's like, his arms and shit are restricted, but he's fucking blowing fire at him still.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't go down like no bitch. But nonetheless, they now have Din Djarin, no Grogu.
And not just that, but what's his face from the
Paz Vizsla? Is that who you're talking? Okay.
He got.
We'll talk about He got Boromired. He got Boromired.
Yes, he did.
But yeah, and well, that's how the show ends, though. When we talk about Paz Vizsla, so he makes in order for Bo-Katan, Grogu, all the other NPC Mandalorians to get out of there, Paz Vizsla has to make a last stand. And, his gun, and he's just sitting there fucking shooting.
It's overheating.
It's overheating. It's glowing fucking red and orange, man. And he's just, like I said.
It essentially lights on fire, and then he still uses it as a weapon and throws it at the motherfucker. It's beautiful. What a way to go, man. True boss shit right there.
Yeah. It looks like he actually beats... all of the, and these are those like Imperial Beskar Mandalorians. But once he kind of takes them out, those 3 Praetorian guards step out.
And they got their own. They have their own theme, like their own epic theme now, and they made a very big deal out of them. I'm like, where were you guys in the throne room in Return of the Jedi?
Yeah.
Where were you when Snoke and got killed?
The Last Jedi. Yeah, the Last Jedi. Exactly. If he had those guys, he might still be alive. So yeah, they fight. I mean, Paz puts up a fight, but they eventually, they've got their lightsaber or whatever the hell you call them, and but yeah, he does the fucking thing where he gets stabbed by one. He just kind of pulls it closer into him and starts beating one. Like, I mean, yeah. Paz Vizsla received a beautiful death by Spartan standards, and boom, fade to black. That's where the episode, And again, my wife's like, it's like, come on, they do it every time.
Didn't I say it last week, Don? Didn't I
Yeah.
say that last week ended on such a happy note? It left you with
Mm-hmm.
a good feeling, and this one leaves you with a feeling of dread. I said it was going to happen. We're going by we're going by Disney mathematics here.
Yep. So yeah, that was the penultimate episode, and like I said, even the normies, we got some buzz from them. Our buddy Dave, I see him on Facebook, and he's saying, "Oh, Mandalorian's interesting now," and I just had to meme to like sit him in the corner, like, "Come on, it's not, you know, we've been here,
It
but whatever, it's okay, whatever gets him back in. That's all that matters."
it's because something actually happened this week. It wasn't just a
Hmm.
one-off episode or a building block
It's
episode.
like like Game of Thrones Red Wedding almost.
Yeah, yeah, really. Yeah, that's a good comparison.
Which you love or hate.
But this one had a background story. It was a longer episode. There was a battle, an epic death. There were not lightsabers, but close enough. Damn it, it felt like Star Wars to
Hmm.
any casual Star Wars fan. That felt like Star Wars.
Yeah, it sure did. So what do you think? I mean, the finale's coming up.
I don't
Um,
want it to end.
yeah.
I really don't want it to end. I think that the story it picked up a lot of speed in a short amount of time. Like they're giving us a lot to go into this season finale with a lot of information to digest, a lot of threads that were tied, stories that were connected, and yeah, it's a lot in a short span of time. But hey, you know what? I'm ready for next week. I don't want to
Hmm.
see it, but I'm gonna have to. So then I have to wait a whole nother year and some change to get some more Mando.
Well, I don't know. I think we got a pretty good chance of getting in the Ahsoka. You know, we'll see. At
Yeah.
least some baby Grogu. So as far as the finale, then what? Because I think ultimately this is going to end on a good note. I don't think we're going to end with Din Djarin. There's speculation that he could be dead, that he could be hooked up to a mind flare and forgets about Grogu, possibly turned against Grogu or the rest of the Mandalorians. Um, but, do you have any idea as what we might see in the finale?
The mind flayer thing is they introduced it in a previous episode, and it would
Mm-hmm.
kind of make sense to bring it back because Din Djarin is he's very headstrong.
Mm-hmm.
So you would really have to take that from him to make him like a mindless, zombie-ish kind of,
Yeah.
Mandalorian. But what a leader for your new set of Death Troopers,
Mm-hmm.
right? Is probably the best Mandalorian we've seen since Boba Fett. So yeah, yeah. I mean that makes sense. I mean, bring it all back. I mean everything is connected, right? Here in the Filoniville.
Yeah. Now, I've seen where we've been told that we're going to cheer when we see the finale.
I've heard that too. I heard that at Celebration, right? Is that where you heard it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think they could pull another, like, a season 2 finale and, like, say Grogu reach through the Force and Ahsoka, because, we got her series coming out, and possibly Luke Skywalker get the signal, both come and, like, hand Moff Gideon's ass to him? Do you think they'll go to that well again, but I guess times 2 add Ahsoka? How does that sound?
You might get Ahsoka.
But not
Maybe.
both?
You might. Yeah, I think they're gonna have to tie in Book of Boba Fett somehow for season two.
Yeah.
You're gonna, because Boba kind of owes Din Djarin a favor,
Yeah.
for helping him take his empire back. So you might get Boba Fett. And
Mm.
what more famous Mandalorian is there than
Boba
Boba
Fett.
Fett? The universe's greatest bounty hunter. The man who caught Han Solo and died by getting hit in the back.
Yeah.
I will
It's
never
just
forgive George
jetpack.
Lucas for that. I'm sorry. It's so hard for me to watch Jedi and I'm going to the 40th anniversary showing
Yeah.
of Return of the Jedi, and I know I'm gonna have to watch that fucking scene, and I hate it every time. Like, I want to claw the damn Boba Fett tattoo off my skin every time I see it, because I'm like, this is not the way to do it, George.
Yeah, I will never understand. Growing up knowing some Boba Fett fans, like how is like one of the most incompetent characters in this trilogy, but I don't know. I knew a lot of Boba Fett guys, so it was just the way he looked, the idea of a bounty hunter, and now we're eating good. So hey,
That's
it
right.
endured. It endured.
That's right. We went from a character that only had about 2 minutes of screen time to a whole season of his own show.
Yep.
As as good or for bad as that was, but I think he
I'm
only I think he
excited.
only he only had like what, 12 words of dialogue? He
Yeah,
only he only
if
spoke
that.
12 words. What more do you need? That's pure mystery, man. All you know about this guy is that he's the greatest bounty hunter in the galaxy, and he caught our hero Han Solo.
Yeah, it's all the context. Yeah, you don't want to
Right.
over exposition it because
Mm-hmm.
then, yeah, the mystery goes away.
That's why I think about wrestling back in the 90s when the Undertaker really didn't speak. All he said was rest
Mm-hmm.
in peace, and he was more like
Right.
a zombie. But then they actually let him speak, and you're like, well, he's not really dead. That type of thing. Sometimes less is more, guys.
For sure. Well, just looking at, I know we talked about Star Wars Celebration a little bit, last week, and of course, we just talked about it with the Thrawn stuff. But just looking here, we talked about those three directors in those three movies. Um, what's nice is, Kathleen Kennedy, everybody's favorite.
You got you.
It does say that the Star Wars films are pretty far along in development, so that's nice. That's nice for. Um,
No, what's nice is that she's just putting her name to them now. She's not
yeah.
overseeing this shit anymore. That's what's good about it. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm not a Kathleen Kennedy hater. I think we got a lot of cool shit under her watch, but at the same time, I agree with you. Let the creatives do their thing. So, yeah, put your name
All right.
on it and be happy. Have a Coke and a smile and shut the fuck up.
Sign the checks, bitch.
So we got the Ahsoka. We already know about that. I'm just looking through, seeing if anything. Yeah, the
Uh,
Thrawn stuff is pretty much it.
they announced Vision season 2,
Yes, Vision C,
which
that was.
which I thought was interesting because that had a very 50-50 split in the fandom, I think.
And I
So
don't know
to
why, because I thought it was fucking awesome.
It was great visually. I love the anthology aspect of it. That every week we had a different story. I
Well, and
dug
just
that.
the little differences, like the one guy who had the red lightsaber, and it never disengaged. He put it in a fucking sheath, just like a
Yeah,
samurai. Like that's
yeah.
such a cool fucking touch. And he, of course, was apparently some sort of Sith or dark side user, but he was like hunting other Sith. Like, yeah, I'm excited because yeah, you're right. A whole bunch of concepts were introduced that way, and I don't know. I just loved every bit of it.
Well, isn't that essentially what the acolyte is?
Well,
It's
and
it's
that
a
was the other thing I was about to say is, of course, we got acolyte trailer here,
Mhm.
set between the Old Republic and the prequels. From what I understand, it's about 100 years before the prequels. So not gonna get Palpatine,
yeah.
Darth Sidious.
You're not gonna get Palpatine. You're not gonna get Maul. But I'm sure that
Plagueis,
they'll
you're not gonna get Plagueis. You might
yeah.
see Plagueis, maybe a young Plagueis, but you get Yoda. You will
You
get
always
Yoda.
get Yoda.
You
That's what
always get
happens when you
Yoda.
make him 800 years old.
Um, so yeah, this is supposed to be Frozen/Kill Bill. Frozen/Kill Bill. So that
Like, let it go, Frozen.
right, like yeah, that's what the description is from the showrunner. Yeah.
I'm trying to take the story of Frozen and try to interweave it into a Star Wars universe, and I'm just confused. I mean, I'm sure it'll be fine. I have faith, but
I
I
mean, yeah, let's see. This girl, she's force sensitive. Her powers are manifesting. She doesn't know how to use them. So her dad, who's like a king of some sort of system, locks her away, and then she becomes an acolyte somehow.
Like,
I don't, yeah.
Like fucking Rapunzel?
Yeah.
Alright, whatever.
Yeah. Star Wars Rapunzel.
But we can't botch this, Disney. We can't, because we've always wanted a story from the Sith side, right?
Yeah.
And you kind of got it in Revenge of the Sith, but not really. That was still Obi-Wan and Anakin's story. It wasn't always just dark side, dark side, dark side.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna be a lot different. So I have faith. I think they'll do fine.
Yeah, I mean they haven't let me down, at least, and the closest thing to come to a letdown is, I guess, Book of Boba Fett, but I fucking loved it, so I'll tell you.
The Sith always look the best. They're like the best looking characters in all of Star Wars. Let's just face it, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely, way more.
So I don't see how this is
visually.
going to be. I don't think how's it going to be any different. They're going to make some badass looking Sith.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
I mean, Dooku was just
yeah,
Dooku.
Yeah, them going from Darth Maul to Dooku, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like back in the day, before the Attack of the Clones came out, It's like, is Darth Maul going to return some way or what? Darth Tyrannus, who... Are you this is Darth Tyrannus? Like, you better get him some fucking Ben Gay or some shit for his joints, because...
But then you go into the backstory of Dooku, and he's actually...
He is a total badass for shit.
He
is a total badass. Yeah, no, that is not to be... Yeah, do not misconstrue. He slices and dices.
He was one of the only people that could keep up with Yoda in a duel. He defeated Mace Windu in like a training duel or something like that. Why not? He trained Qui-Gon. He had mastery over both sides of the Force. I mean, Dooku was badass, man. He just didn't look badass, because you go from the devil himself, Darth Maul, and then you go to Christopher. I
get you. Maul, fucking black, red, spikes, double-bladed lightsaber, black fucking robe, and then there's Dooku. It's Christopher Lee, gray hair, little half cape.
Let me ask you a question, Don. When you watch Phantom Menace, because I did in fact watch Phantom Menace a couple days ago, just because I was like, why not? So, I watched it every couple of years. So I threw it on. And every time since 1999 when the film came out, do you still get chills when those doors open and Maul is just standing there? And fucking Duel of Fates kicks on. Do you still? I get goosebumps just thinking about it.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
It's so much different, when you watch it. We could talk about it, but it has a lasting effect. Because you really didn't see him in episode 1. He always had the hood up, and then he de-robes, and he's got the horns and the double-edged lightsaber, and he's just, it's just so cool.
I mean, just the way the doors fucking open up.
Yeah, it's just...
There are 20, 30 motherfuckers with guns there, and 2 Jedi. And he's not even looking at anybody but Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. And then those 30 dudes are, with guns, they don't even hesitate. They're just like, we'll find another way. Gone. Like, no, absolutely. I must have saw that in the theaters because, this is back in the day when we still had to wait. Actually, it was like 2 fucking years before I think I could get a VHS copy of that movie. But anyway, because of that, I saw that shit like 10 times. And it was, that fight alone was worth it. I never understood the hate for that movie. But, yeah, no, you're right. No other scenes charge up like that.
Maul had a presence, right?
Yep.
When they roll up on Dooku, it's not the same. It had a little bit of an effect when Obi-Wan fought Anakin, on the molten lava planet. That was different. Like that had a feel to it. But Maul with those doors opening, man, there'll never be anything like it in Star Wars. I'm sorry. And Duel of Fates is like the perfect entourage to that whole look. It's just, it's so good. So good. All praise Maul.
Lord Maul.
I pledge myself to the Death Watch forever.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely, he was my favorite Sith and he's always going to be one of my favorite Sith. Um, the more you learn about him, more he really is kind of a tragic being because he was basically, purchased by Sidious, and even though he was given the title of Darth, he was a Sith. Um,
He just wasn't a Sith Lord. He never.
Well, right. Well, Palpatine did not develop his dark side understanding. He only developed him as an assassin tool. That's why he allowed him to have a double-edged saber because, yeah, Darth Maul was one of the best Sith as far as saber skills.
Yep.
But when it came to understanding the political scheming, just real deep dark side machination shit, that was held away from him. Plagueis knew that Sidious had him as an apprentice, but Plagueis saw that he had a double-edged lightsaber, and again, we think that's all cool. Plagueis and Sidious look at that and they're like, okay, yeah, he's just concerned about that little toy. He's not concerned about unlocking the real secrets. So, yeah, just a cool fucking character. And then, obviously, if you watch the Clone Wars animated series and all that, he does come back.
Yeah, Sidious and Maul fight, and Maul just gets owned.
Oh, that was
him and his brother. Yeah, that was just
him and Savage Opress. Which, that was an interesting scene because, like I just said, Sidious, Palpatine, he's not really into the lightsaber combat. That's nothing. That's not the real power of the Sith of the dark side. But he uses lightsabers to mock the Jedi or to mock whoever he's about to fuck up. So, in that fashion, when he goes to fight Darth Maul and Savage Opress, he dual blades lightsabers doing it.
Yeah.
And it was just, yeah. Boy, that was an ass whooping. Sidious is a badass for sure. Good stuff.
I know. What a universe, right?
Yeah, it's the best. It's the best. Can't be topped. It is my favorite. I got a lot of favorites though. One of my favorite comic books is X-Men, and my favorite character in X-Men is Colossus. And I'll tell you what, Ray, I know that I've been, complaining because Disney's got the rights back to X-Men now for, 5 years. And where's the X-Men?
Where's anything? Where's anything from Fox? Hell, we're still waiting on Deadpool 3. I mean...
Well, we're going to get Deadpool 3. And one thing that I've been wondering is Colossus, because... as much as I'm not a Deadpool fan, the Deadpool movies to me are my favorite comic book movies ever because they have a comic accurate Colossus in them. For some reason, whatever God you believe in, saw fit to put Colossus in the Deadpool movie, and they did it right. And it's just fucking wonderful. I love it. And so I've been waiting with bated breath. Is this going to happen again in Deadpool 3? Are we going to get my Colossus? And it is confirmed that Stefan, and I'm going to screw up your name, sir, I'm sorry, Kapitic and Marina Baccarin, they're going to return as Colossus and Vanessa in Deadpool 3. And I just find that, I don't know if ironic is the right word, but I just find that really interesting that I don't have my X-Men yet, but hey, I got Colossus. I got comic accurate Colossus in Deadpool 3. It's going to be in the MCU before the rest of the X-Men are.
That's fine.
And how perfect was that setup, though? While Fox still had it, how perfect did Deadpool 2 set up this whole time travel universal shit that they now can meld in this property into the MCU and have it like a glove? That's crazy how that worked out.
I don't think that any other X-Men character would have worked besides Colossus. I really don't. I don't see Beast working. I don't see Wolverine working, even though, Wolverine and Deadpool are linked. But I just don't see Wolverine working in Deadpool 1 or 2. I think that it was smart to wait for 3, even though it was happenstance,
Yeah.
But bring him in now. But I think Colossus was the perfect fit, Mr. Goody Goody.
Yeah.
He needed a big, strong guy, to fight the Juggernaut and to help out at the final battle in the first one. it made sense, and I just don't see Cyclops pulling it off. I don't see Jean Grey pulling. I think Colossus was just a perfect fit,
No,
especially for the back and forth.
yeah.
They bounced Deadpool and Colossus bounced off of each other very well.
Yeah, I mean I didn't expect it, but you're right. They did it, and it does make sense. He's the perfect balance from Deadpool's zaniness, not to mention it's Colossus. So like, you know, Deadpool did try to like hurt Colossus, but he couldn't. So
Yeah,
like, you know,
punched him and broke his whole hand, like his
yeah.
wrist.
So you could safely have Colossus be there and handle that, and yeah, it worked out great. So he's in Deadpool 3, as is Wolverine, as you just mentioned. So that's my number 2 X-Men right there, Wolverine. So I'm going to have Colossus and Wolverine, and it not be X3. Well, I guess they're in X2 as well, but only for 5 seconds. I'm excited. I'm thinking fastball special. We're
Yeah.
definitely going to see that. And I can't wait. I just know Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool, and Wolverine, and Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. I just know they're gonna fucking roast each other the whole fucking movie, and then there's gonna be Colossus in the middle of that. I don't know. I just can't believe it. Like the X-Men as a whole are getting shit on, but I'm still getting Colossus and Wolverine in a Deadpool movie as like the first X-Men in the MCU, and I'm just geeking out over it. I love it.
So you're essentially eating your ice cream before dinner.
Yes.
You're
Yes.
getting the treat first, and then later you'll get your meat and potatoes.
Yep.
Perfectly
Which,
fine. That's the way I like to do it anyway.
which it was opposite with Fox, because with Fox you got the X-Men, and as a Colossus fan, I really didn't eat that good. I mean, I liked his appearance in X2. It made sense. That's what Colossus would do. We got to protect the children. Okay, you know. But then X3 happened, and that's a shit stain on the universe. But then I got Deadpool, so kind of got my shit
Made up for
cereal
it.
first, but then I got
And,
my
and,
banana
and a
split.
better Colossus, if you ask me, a better actor.
Absolutely, yes.
hmm
Uh,
Nothing wrong with the guy. Nothing wrong with the guy that did X2 and 3. I mean, he was fine for what he was in that type of universe in that movie.
mm-hmm.
But the Colossus, the fact that he never deforms from his metal is just very Colossus-y. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah,
And,
I
and
kind of complained about that a little bit, but it makes actual sense because we're talking about Deadpool here. Like,
right.
he's not completely trustworthy, so Colossus is smart enough to be like, I can't not be a metal form around this guy.
Well, I think it's also for people that don't know who Colossus is and he stays in his metal form, you're more familiar with him. You don't lose him on screen,
Yeah.
and he could sell a couple of toys here and there.
Well, and hey, he doesn't need to, even though it showed him eating. Like when he's in his metal form, he doesn't need to eat or nothing. He doesn't even need air.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
great stuff. Let me ask you though. I was thinking about this, and I swear this would be awesome. So I know Ryan Reynolds plays Deadpool, right? But he's all cancery and fucked up looking. I think Ryan Reynolds should play Jamie Madrox as well. I would love to see a Ryan Reynolds multiple man.
He has the smart ass attitude for it. But hasn't he played enough superheroes? We got Hannibal King, Green Lantern, Jesus Christ, Hal Jordan.
um,
Ryan Reynolds has put his time he played
yeah.
Deadpool. I'm sorry. What was it in X-Men Origins Wolverine? What was his name?
Oh, it was Wade Wilson, Deadpool.
No. They didn't call him Deadpool. They called him the Deadpool.
Yeah, right,
But he
The
was
Dead,
like
right.
X20. He wasn't X23, was he? No, he
Mm-mm.
was X11 or something. Whatever the hell his
Some
name
shit
was. I
like
can't.
that. Yeah, I can't remember
I
either.
own the movie. I've never put it in my Blu-ray player. Put it that way. But
Dude.
but he did. He played that, and then he came and played Deadpool. And I don't think he needs to play any more superhero-y.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I feel like I'm missing one though. Did I miss one? We got Green Lantern, Deadpool. other
I
Deadpool.
mean, he was in Blade
Hannibal
3,
King.
but it wasn't a
Yeah, he was
superhero.
Hannibal King.
Yeah, but
Oh, I feel like I'm missing one. Did he do another superhero movie I'm not remembering off the top of my head?
yeah, I'm not remembering it either. So it'd be you and me both.
Mm, I feel like I'm missing one. Okay. But yeah, Deadpool
Yeah,
3, I think it's gonna be perfectly fine, even under the Disney banner.
I.
I think Disney understands. I think they're
Mm-hmm.
like, look, this is what has made over almost $2 billion. Both of these movies together. Let's just keep that gravy train rolling. Let them do what they're gonna do, and I doubt they'll put the Disney banner on it. I really
Yeah.
don't see that happening. They'll get the Marvel, of course, as they always get, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
see a Disney production. I don't see the fucking Castle and Tinkerbell coming out and dink.
So what will
I
they
don't
do
see any of
then?
that.
Will they? I mean, they can't technically do this. Will they release it as a 20th Century Fox?
I think they can. They own the name. They own the
Yeah.
properties. I think that they can. They've done this Searchlight thing, so
Mm-hmm.
why not? That Prey, the newest Predator movie was under 20th Century Spotlight or Searchlight or
Okay.
whatever it
So
is.
right.
So I think that
Okay.
they could release it through that. They don't have to put Disney's name on it. And if they really wanted to be cautious about it, put it on Hulu. Like that's what they did with the first two Deadpools. They put that shit on
Yeah.
Hulu.
Yeah, but I think those are straight on Disney Plus now, though.
They are on Disney Plus
Yeah.
now.
No,
Now,
gotcha.
because of fan outcry and the success of how many downloads and streams they got off of Hulu. They're like, well, let's just incorporate the more adult audience on a Disney Plus. More money. That's what we're here for, right, Disney?
Right. Yeah. No doubts.
But I just don't see the Disney name going on this property. I think it's too risky.
Well, we'll have to see what they do, but I think they'll do the 20th Century Spotlight thing.
Yeah,
But
most
we'll
likely.
see. I think it's going to make a
Most
lot of money, though. I think it's going to make a lot of money.
Oh, absolutely. I'm honestly guessing more than Wakanda Forever, more than Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Uh I see this one hitting 1 billion because Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds, Wolverine and Deadpool. Think of how much money the actual just the Wolverine movies alone made,
Right.
right? You're putting Deadpool and Wolverine together. Just start printing your own money with Mickey Mouse on it, man.
And let's not even forget, lest we forget, and these haven't been confirmed yet, but I would love to see Brolin in there as Cable. I mean,
Yep.
imagine that dynamic between those three. Zazie Beetz is Domino.
I would love a you Thanos looking motherfucker joke from Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, exactly. Um, and what's that? I think his name's T.J. Miller. Who plays Weasel? Some Miller, something Miller. But he was kind of in a controversial thing, so I don't know if he's coming back, and I haven't seen it confirmed yet. I hope he does because I think the character's funny as fuck. He's like, hey, I would go with you, but I don't want to.
Oh
uh,
yeah.
uh, like every line that guy says cracks me up. But so none of those characters have been confirmed yet, but I hope they are.
I don't foresee a lot of details getting leaked about this movie. I think that the mystery is what's going to help sell this movie. You can't give it all away in the trailer and shit.
Yeah.
Give away a couple of funny tidbits, but don't give away the villain. Don't give away really anything. Go anti everything that Marvel is. How smart of a marketing campaign would that be?
Yeah, I mean, because you're going to see some crazy shit because this is going to deal right because Loki and the TVA or Morbius, whatever that guy that played by Luke Wilson or whatever, they're part of this as well, and so yeah, I mean, we could see all sorts of shit, but yeah, let us just see it. Don't
And how funny and how ironic or funny would it be? And I think I've said this on other shows. I'm not sure if I did on Superhero Speak or not or whoever. But how funny would it be to have a Deadpool trailer with a bunch of action shit in it and jokes and set pieces and things like that, and they never appear in the movie? It was all just the ultimate fuck you.
troll.
Haha, we got yes. That is so Deadpool. Let's do that.
Give us like a Wolverine versus Omega Red Tealer. Don't show Hugh Jackman or nothing. Just show like the claws come out, and then show
Yeah.
like and then
Technically,
it's not in the
Omega
movie.
Red was in Deadpool
Deadpool
2
2.
in
Yeah.
a deleted scene, which is horse shit. But I
Yeah.
digress. One of Jim Lee's best creations, wasted.
Yeah, that was X-Men comics in the 90s, man.
That was
Omega Red, Wolverine, he was
X-Men number 4. Yep.
he was in the fighting games early.
Yeah.
He was a quick hit. So, yeah, would love to see that.
But give me actual Omega Red, not just some gangster.
Right, yes.
Which he would eventually become in the comics. He's just a mobster now. But
Right.
I mean, how cool would it be with the tentacles?
Well, the comics right now, he's kind of a good guy, but we're not even going to talk about that because.
No, don't tell me that. Don't
There's
make me hate new comics more than I already do.
Well, listen. If I'm not collecting the X-Men, something's wrong, okay? And
I know, but now you're telling me Omega Red's a good guy. Now, and you're telling me
and
Apocalypse
Beast is a villain.
Apocalypse is helping out. I'm just like, this is not my X-Men. Sinister, he's doing his own thing right now, but he was helping out before, and I'm just like, these are not my villains.
Well, Sinister, you always knew he had.
Of course.
Because he outsmarted Xavier. Because Xavier was like, "Hey, I need you to chronicle every mutant DNA," and Miss Sinister's like, "Oh, I can't believe you give me this access." And then Xavier wipes his mind, but yeah, Mr. Sinister got around that. But anyway, yeah, no, you're right. Like Apocalypse, which kind of makes sense what they did with Apocalypse because when he first came to Krakoa, they were all like, Are you chill? Are you good? Are we good, fam?
I would be too. It's Apocalypse.
And he's like, he comes out of the gate, he's talking to Krakoa. Hey, it's been a while, Krakoa. It's been a long time. And yeah, when they're all like, are you chill? He's like, why wouldn't I be? You're superior. This is what I wanted. Anyway, but they've divulged from there and gotten into some. They just don't finish. They just don't finish and develop stories. That's really my complaint about the X-Men comics. You have to collect 12 issues and you get a little sprinkle of the. I'm just not here for it. Anyway, I digress. I won't bore with that. I will instead just focus on the fact that I'm getting my Colossus in Deadpool 3 with Hugh Jackman Wolverine, fastball special, going to make $1 billion. I'm loving it. All right, Ray. Well, that's where we're at, man. So, Mandalorian Season 3 finale. We'll be talking about that. Let us know what you thought of this week's episode. Are you back in it? Have you ever left? Let us know down in the comments. Let us know what you think of Grand Admiral Thrawn and the confirmation that the voice actor is going to continue on with the live action. And, of course, Deadpool 3. Do you like Deadpool as much as I do? Do you like Wolverine Colossus Fastball Special? Let me know down in the comments. On Twitter, at OmegaLevelNerds. And email, if you don't have Twitter, OmegaLevelNerds@gmail.com. Of course, Ray, thank you very much. Host of Overlook Hotel.
Yes, sir. Next week's going to be something. I think next week we might have to go a little bit longer than we normally do because I think there's going to be a lot to talk about. There's going to be a lot of questions. We're not even going to fan book this week, guys. Because
no fan booking.
No, I'm just saying, Don, we're not going to fan book because that's essentially spoilers for these people. Because
exactly.
Whatever we say happens.
There you go. That is. It's not conjecture. Okay, we're on the cusp. We're on the forefront. We're ahead of the curve. So you're right. Let's not give spoilers. We'll just let it happen. Let it ride.
Death Watch is coming.
All right, and make sure you check out Ray on Twitch there.
Yep, at 8-Bit Ray, same as the name. I play the game so you don't have to. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 p.m. on Twitch. Yeah. Except tonight. Except on Fridays. I'm usually a little late because I'm here. But
Yeah.
I don't mind. They don't
Which I
mind. It's fine.
appreciate.
Yeah, no problem, my man.
Good stuff. All right, check them out, guys, and we will see you next time. Have a good one.